Very different in terms of the way that they play the game. Heung-min Son was a goal scorer, but he could dribble. Ricky was a sort of creative midfielder who could dribble also. He didn't have the pace of Sonny, but sort of he relied on his individual skills to beat people, where Sonny can sort of ghost past people with pace. So, both very good players, but very different.
At their peak, who would you choose as a teammate?
Very difficult one. Easy to say the player that you've played with, because you know his strengths, you know his weaknesses. Very difficult to talk about a player who you've only ever watched, because obviously part of playing with a player is knowing that he makes things good for you too. So I've never played with Son, so I wouldn't know how me and him would play together, whereas I know exactly how Ricky played. I sort of was on the similar wavelength. I knew where he would be, when he would be. So it's a bit sort of unfair to judge who I would choose to play with or not.
Well, was he good to play with, Ricky Villa?
Yes. I mean, what you knew about Ricky was his game was simple. If he could dribble and attack someone, he would. But if he needed to release the ball, then he would release it in a simple way. So as long as you were in the right position, you would get the ball, but he would pass it in. He would pass you a round ball, not a square ball, because a square ball bobbles up off the corners and bounces and bobbles all over the place. But a round ball rolls nicely into your feet, easy to control, and that was the type of pass that Ricky would pass.
We spoke to Graham Roberts recently, and he said Sonny's struggles this season was due to Postecoglou's demands, that he work harder with his defensive running compared to past managers. Do you agree?
Not necessarily. I think that it's the responsibility of every player within the team framework to play a role when you haven't got, a role when you haven't got the ball, as well as when you've got it. So I don't necessarily agree with that assessment, mainly because Sonny's always worked hard, in fairness, and he's always scored lots of goals, and at times this season he's been the same. It's every player has a downside, and every player has a loss of confidence, or if you haven't, then God, you're a genius, because part of the game is that you'll have a bad time or you'll lose some confidence or whatever. That's naturally a part of the game. Son just wasn't at his peak this season, but even so, he's still a very, very influential player of our team, and praying to God that he's fit for the final.
Yes. But do you think it's just down to confidence? He has seemed to struggle a bit this season compared to previous seasons. But
absolutely.
This Spurs side.
Oh, absolutely. But I think it's a bit deeper with Son than just to say that there's a bit too many demands. There is too many demands on him. If you look at Sonny's career over the last 10 years, he's hardly had a break from football. If you're play for South Korea and you're doing all that traveling on top of all that playing, there's no break, there's no respite. He's a world-renowned name, so his off the work activity is equal to the work he does on the pitch. So I wouldn't be surprised to say that mentally he must be fatigued or a bit stale, and I think that's impacted more this season than maybe any other season.